He just wants to go back home, back to school, back to his friends. Today, new concerns about the health and living conditions of 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos, who right now is stuck in a family detention center in Texas. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett visited Liam and his dad yesterday. His dad told her that Liam has been depressed, crying out for his mom, and spends most of the time, like you see him here, asleep. But here's more of what she just told me in the last hour.
I don't even know if what I saw out of Liam was sleep, because I've dealt with a lot of kids, and when I tried to touch him, tried to move him just to see if I could get his eyes to open, his eyes never opened. We never saw his eyes open the entire time we were there, and he did not necessarily seem like he was asleep. There wasn't kind of the heavy breathing sometimes that occurs when you're asleep. I was very concerned about his appearance, as well as he appeared a bit pale.
Joining me, public health analyst Dr. Erwin Redlener, co-founder of the Children's Health Fund. So you have a lot of experience with kids, obviously. You can't diagnose someone you haven't seen, but when you look at that picture of Liam, you hear his dad, you hear what the Congresswoman had to say. What do you see from a doctor's point of view?
All right, Chris. Well, first of all, you don't have to see an image to know that basically arresting in a traumatic situation a 5-year-old is a bad idea. It is a terribly traumatic experience for a kid to be picked up by authority figures, taken away from his mother, and taken to a detention center in another state. We don't do this to children. We shouldn't be doing this to children. And I'm telling you, the images that we saw and what the woman is describing reflect exactly what we would expect, which is a child deeply traumatized who's defending himself by not opening his eyes to look at and get any more input about what he's experiencing right now. And it's a terrible situation. And really, we need to let that kid go home to his mom. This is the bottom line here.
I mean, if you look at the side-by-side here, and obviously he seemed like he was scared the day on the left that he was picked up. But he's a healthy kid, right? And he looks so cute. He's got that outfit in the backpack. And then you see him almost like a shrunken little boy. He's limp against his dad. It's been a little over a week, physically and emotionally, to go through a trauma like this. She said that there's a psychologist there. There's a nurse there, some sort of health professional there. But what do you look for, and how do you help a kid like this?
Well, what you have to, really the bottom line is the kid has to be sent back to his mother. So we're dealing now with hopefully a very temporary situation where we need to protect this child, and having mental health support for him while he's in there is obviously totally appropriate, assuming they know what they're doing. And I've been assured, speaking to officials this morning about this child, that he is getting the psychological help he needs. But at the end of the day, that's not going to help him. This kid has no idea when he's going to be released. He's dealing with this uncertainty, which exacerbates the trauma. And, he's being harmed. And possibly he's going to be exposed to developing post-traumatic stress disorder later. And it's preventable, Chris. This is the thing that's so really heartbreaking. I'm speaking to you now as a dad and a grandfather, not just a professional, telling you that this is not acceptable in the United States of America to put a child in prison, which is what we're talking about here. Yes, he's with his father. That's not enough to mitigate against the consequences of being in jail right now and missing his mother and his family and his normalcy.
And missing his school, which is what we're told.
Right.
He has said.
Right.
He also has been asking, if we can go back to the picture from when he was taken away by ICE, he's been asking about his bunny hat, and he's been asking about his Spider-Man backpack. And that is particularly poignant after what his school superintendent told me just last week. Listen.
I tell you what, it's not lost on me. His last name is Conejo Ramos. Well, Conejo means rabbit. And so every time I see the picture of that little bunny hat, I just think he must have been so proud because it tied directly to his last name.
His school principal said that Little Rabbit Hat was Liam. a piece of his identity at the school, recognizable, and now it's gone. All of the familiar things we know about the place, but for little kids, their stuff, how important is it?
And why on earth does he not have his hat and his backpack? What possible rationale would an official in that jail, in that detention center, have for not allowing this kid to get the security that he would obviously get from having the things that are important to him? So he's separated from mom, separated from school and family, and he's separated from the things that could give him a little bit of security while he's in that terribly inappropriate place. It's inexplicable, inexcusable, and especially, Chris, in the context of everything else that's happening in the country. Why would DHS and the Trump administration allow this to continue? Jailing a 5-year-old, really not okay.
And many other kids who are in the very same situation. Dr. Erwin Redlener, thank you so much for coming in.